to stop demonizing the police after he signs an executive order to reform law enforcement just one day after first responders rushed in to help during the tragic Texas school shooting. Donovan Livaccari is the Crescent City Lodge No. 2 Fraternal Order of Police attorney. Joseph Imperatrice is the founder of Blue Lives Matter NYC, and Sergeant Betsy Brantner Smith is the National Police Association spokeswoman. Good morning to you all. Joseph, I'll start with you. You know, the timing of this executive order is what really struck me. I understand it was on the anniversary of George Floyd's death, but it also happened a day after this tragic school shooting where police officers once again went into the line of fire when crime is on the rise across the country. And ultimately, this executive order is really intended to hamstring police.
Crime all across this nation is up. Subway shootings, New York City is up. Every single day, it seems that there's a tragedy with mass shooting, and we see a certain party coming out and trying to commit more divide when there's nothing going on. Cops are not the problem. We need to move forward. We need to get the community and the police together, but give the police the tools they need to go out and do their job. If we have an officer go out there and go over the line or do something criminal, by all means, let's go after that one isolated incident, but do not damage and go after every single cop because of the action of one.
Yeah, Donovan, before we get to the specifics in this executive order, I do want to stay on the messaging of all this. And it feels like the messaging from the president was we need to tighten the reins around police because we don't trust them. Mentally, what does that do to law enforcement officers? I believe Donovan's shot is frozen. So, oh, are you there?
Yeah. Sorry about that. You know, I think that this timing really, I think, works to our advantage to some extent. I mean, we've been dealing with this now for quite some time, and we're allowed. I think this allows us really to move past it. Let's move past this, focus on the other areas of the criminal justice system that need attention. And that way the police can go back to focusing on the work that they need to do to protect these children on a daily basis.
Sergeant Brantner Smith, let's take a look at what's inside this executive order. It's called the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. It overhauls use of force guidelines, bans chokeholds, no-knock warrants, mandates body cameras. It also will start a national database of police misconduct and limit the transfer of military equipment to local police departments. What does that do to policing?
Well, understand, this only affects federal police. And this is political theater. President Biden can't affect state and local law enforcement, so he's going to just further hamstring his own federal police officers. I think the worst part of this bill is that the one effect that he has on state and local law enforcement is to take away that militarized equipment that local law enforcement often gets from the federal government to use in situations just like we saw in Uvalde. So now he is going to limit local and county SWAT teams. They're not going to be able to get those armored vehicles, those MRAP vehicles, so that we could go in and save citizens, save kids in schools. He's declaring a war on law enforcement when he should be declaring a war on crime and a war on poor mental health in this country. It's political theater, and frankly, it's outrageous.
I think you make an excellent point there. Got to leave it there. Donovan Livaccari, Joseph Imperatrice, Sergeant Betsy Brantner Smith, thank you so much for joining us.